Hey everyone, I'm Sarah Fish.
And I'm Brandon Price.
And this is Fish
or Price Ranch.
Good morning everyone. Welcome back to Fisher Price Ranch. We have a long day ahead of us, so we thought we would actually share this with you. We have a lot going on. We're going to be all over the place today. We've got to spread hay for the goats, which is going to take a while. We got a huge load. Brandon picked that up yesterday. We have to run and pick up some more new animals. And that's going to be a couple hour round trip. And then we have to come back and we have to take some goats to the vet. So I'll show you guys that. But we're going to start off this morning with a good healthy breakfast. So we're starting our day off with some farm fresh eggs thanks to our amazing chickens. And we are going to cook it in our homemade goat lard. This is lard that we rendered from one of our goats that we butchered. We cook all of our stuff in the goat lard. So we're going to start off with that and some eggs and a little bit of cheese, and then we'll get on with our day. So when we do crack our eggs, we save our eggshells. We save all of our scraps from the kitchen for the chickens. The eggshells are good for the chickens because it gives them back calcium in their diet. So we always make sure that we save those anytime we crack open our eggs. And when we're cooking with our goat lard, it has a lot of really healthy benefits in it. So this is why we use it, and it's nice that it comes from our homegrown goats, so we know it's nice and healthy. Did add a little butter. No, it's not goat butter. We haven't started milking it, so I can't make my own butter just yet. But that will be on the list for springtime, as soon as we get to that point. Yum! Time for our yummy breakfast! Okay, so we're heading out now that we've had our yummy breakfast, and I'll show you guys our load of hay that we got. We actually did have a few goats that have left the property. We had decided suddenly to sell Cypress, the little white buck that we were going to retain. The reason we changed our mind is because we got another buck out of the same sire, but is out of Pinky, and she has the best milk production out of all of our Kiko does. So we wanted to have better milking. Sorry about the sun. Better milk production out of one of our bucks, so that's why we decided to suddenly sell Cypress. And then we sold Hazel, who was out of Bazooka, and then we sold Galaxy, the one that you guys saw that almost died of polio. We needed to make some cuts because money was a little bit tight, and they were the ones that just didn't stand out as much as the rest of the herd. So they've already left, so we used the money to stock up on hay. So I'll show you guys our hay load, and then we're going to get started on spreading hay because it's going to be nice weather all week. Alright, so as you guys know, we feed Bermuda and alfalfa, but we have upped the amount of alfalfa for the girls because they are nursing kids now. And the goats have just been through a lot this year. We've moved a few times, the crazy weather that Arizona has had, and we just feel that their condition isn't up to what we prefer. So what we've done is, of course, we buy the Bermuda, but we've doubled up on the alfalfa, and we're giving some alfalfa every day. We used to only give it a couple times a week or here and there, but now we've done up to every day they get some. And these bales are so big, what we normally do, what the girls typically get, the flakes are full size, like this, and then we typically give them, let's see if I can show it to you, it's hard to see when it's still all baled up like this, but normally like, let's see, it's hard to look at the end. I would say like this much right here is a flake all the way across, and then it's that whole size. So the girls typically get about 3 of these, and they get 3 of the alfalfa as well. And that's what all of our girls are getting once a day. And they typically, of course, they're going to eat the alfalfa first, but they typically have Bermuda left over by the next day. And that is for all the kids and all the does. And we have, I think, around 69 goats out there right now. So they don't eat a lot, but they do have the trees and the native grasses on their new pasture that they also munch on. So that kind of gives you an idea of how much we're going through every day. But this is our hay barn. We had a little bit of snow and rain and stuff, so we had everything covered because no, the roof is not fixed. We've changed our mind. We're just going to tear it down and build it differently once we get better materials. But for now, at least half of it's still covered, which covers all of this feed right here. But for the hay, we're just covering it with a tarp. It's still got the block, so the wind blocks, so it does kind of keep out quite a bit of snow if it's windy. But for now, this is how we're going to keep it. So anyway, what we have left is probably a half a bale of Bermuda. And okay, here's a good idea to show you on the flakes. So this is a flake laying on the ground, 2 flakes on the ground. They split kind of like this, and then it's the whole thing all the way across. So anyway, we're going to spread the rest of this bale between all of the goats. That way, they have free access to it, and we don't want them to run out if we can help it. And then we just feed the alfalfa to the girls every evening. And that's kind of a good way to count the goats, make sure everybody looks okay, nobody's looking off, instead of keeping bales out constantly. We like to have them come in every day. But also, if we just fed a whole bunch of alfalfa the way we're going to do the Bermuda, they would eat all the alfalfa first, so they over-engorge themselves, they could get bloated, so we kind of limit that. So it has been quite cold enough that we need to break waters, which is always fun. A lot of the times we used to pull the ice out, and then it's kind of a waste of water. You don't realize how much water they're wasting until you live off grid, because then you regulate your water. And so anyway, when we do pull the ice out, if it gets too thick and it doesn't have time to melt during the day, but it's supposed to be almost 50 degrees today, so it should melt off pretty good. Trying not to hit the electric fence. There we go. We're going to top all these guys off today when our hoses thaw. But anyway, when we do pull the ice out when it's super thick, we don't want to waste it. So a good use for your ice cubes, if you don't think about it, is to water your trees. So we have all of our trees planted, and what we do with the ice is we just set it around the little bowl that we have made around the tree. And as it melts off, it's watering our trees. So just a good little idea to use up your ice, so it's not all going to waste. Here's all the girls this morning. They're basking in the sun. It's been really chilly this last week in the single digits, but it was only like 16 degrees last night. As odd as that sounded, it is quite a bit warmer. They notice a difference. But anyway, they're just warming up out here in the sun, and they know we're getting ready to do hay, so they're getting excited. Daisy, she is almost ready to kid. I think she's actually 2 weeks away from today before her due date. So we're getting really excited about that. She's bred with Hawthorne, so she's going to be one that's going to be adding dairy to the herd. She's a really good sized goat, real thick also, so it'll probably help with meat production as well. Hopefully she'll give us a doe or a couple of them so we can continue on the line and use her in our breed up program. So for those of you that don't own goats and you guys follow us just to live vicariously through us, which we appreciate, the goats will actually learn when it's feeding time. There's usually something that you do that they recognize, and either if you're carrying a bucket or whatever, but this is our cart or our wagon. And don't pick it up yet. As soon as we touch it, it makes a squeaky noise, and you'll see what happens. So go ahead, Brandon, and pick it up. They all know what that means. So we're going to go get them their hay, and we'll start spreading it. Typically, these flakes are a pain, but we found that if you let them roll down, and then one person can pick them up, or we used to do like one person on each end, but it just seems to be easier to let them just kind of roll into themselves, and then they just fold in half, and then it makes it easier to pick them all up. So we're loading up the boys. We're going to give them 4 flakes in each pen. We've only got, and then this is the only pain, is they keep falling. So sometimes, like when we're done, we'll tie them back up to keep them from continuing to fall in a big pile. But we've got, I think 6 boys in the buck pen. We moved Joe over there because he was being very aggressive and mean toward our other wethers. And I think because he lived with the bucks for quite a long time, and he became, I guess you could say, bucky. He became more aggressive and not so easygoing. So because he was being mean to the boys, we went ahead and moved him in here, and it's actually twice the size for acreage that the Wieners have, and the Weathers. We call them Wieners. Those are freshly weaned kids. So anyway, we got $6 out here, I believe, or $5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, $5 in a wether. $6 in a wether. So there's 7 out here, but we're gonna give them 4 flakes of hay. That should last them about a week. We do that with the boys. We only have to feed them once a week. There's Crazy Hulk. So the reason that we spread the hay the way that we do is, as you can see, it's covering a lot of the ground. We have sandy loam soil, which is way better than where we used to live. Wrecker likes to help us try and unload the hay himself. But we're spreading it in a bunch of little piles everywhere because the waste that the goats don't eat, which typically isn't a lot, it covers the ground and creates mulch for the dirt. And then also, let's see, here we go. So if you look underneath the piles at the base, this is all, let me get rid of the hay here. Anyway, there's seed in there. So if you guys can see that, this is all seed from the hay. And so it's actually, the mulch will cover the seed. And then when we have enough moisture, we'll actually have grass start growing in here. So that's the reason that we're spreading the hay. And then also we just had so many issues with feeders with causing broken legs or injuries. Yeah, they get stuck or whatever. And so this way we don't have to worry about that ever. And it's actually helping our pastures. So another good reason that we like to have all these piles is, if you guys notice when you go to feed goats in a big pile, they can tend to fight over it when it's freshly put out. And this way everybody gets their own pile and there's nothing to fight over. So there's also less injury that way. So we're in the weaning pen now. This is also where we have put the pigs. And they like the hay as well. So they're all excited. What you doing? Huh? Here's Jack. Come on, Jack. Thor has done amazing. I don't know if you guys saw the video before. But when we tried to put just Goku in here, he freaked out and went to attack Goku, which is this little spotted Kuni right there. And that's the reason for that is because he's never been around pigs, and he was trying to protect his goats. So what we did is we moved the pigs in with the chickens, and then we put Thor up there with the pigs and chickens for a full day, and then we kept Thor separated from his goats for a few days, so he would kind of forget that those were his his flock that he had to guard. So then what we did is we moved the pigs in here with the goats, and they shared a fence line for a few days to get used to each other, right? And then when we put Thor in here, he said, oh, look, I have a new flock to guard. And so he just accepted all of them. And he's done amazing. We're super proud of him. Yeah, you're a good boy. So one of the reasons we don't like the pigs with the longer snouts is because they're starting to dig holes everywhere. And the Kuni pigs, their snouts are much shorter, so they don't dig that much, and they're more of a pasture pig. And this is the reasoning that we wanted pure Kuni, but since we got stuck with these half pot belly, half Kuni, they're digging holes everywhere. So the only good part of that is we're throwing hay in the holes, and as they move the dirt around, it'll just bury the seed. So, I mean, it does aerate the soil, but they are eating the native grasses, the roots, and that's why they're digging. So we cannot wait to butcher these pigs and get more pure Kunis. Now, another good reason we're making small piles is when they have large piles of hay, they tend to use them as beds, and then they'll pee on them and stuff, and so once they've done that, they won't eat the hay. So having these small piles, it's not enough that they can lay on and be comfortable, so they tend to waste a lot less. So spreading feed for the boys is fairly easy. There's only a few of them in there, and once we bring the cart in, they just kind of follow behind and eat as we start throwing it out of the cart. We can't do that with the does. We have way too many. Like I said, I think there's about 69 kids and adults in here, and plus we don't want to run the kids over with the cart. and accidentally break a leg or something. So this is a good reason why we love our courtyard and we have extra pastures. So everybody's still relaxing, waiting on their hay. Even Zara. Hi, Zara. Good girl. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up this other pasture that they haven't really been in lately. Savannah, are you a tired mama? Huh? And, oh, calm down, everybody. Anyway, so we're going to go through here. We're going to open this gate here and have all of the does and kids go in this pasture since we're spreading hay in that pasture. And they're pretty used to this. And since everybody's right here, it'll be pretty easy. Come on, girls. Come on. Come on, girls. Let's go. Everybody out. Come on. And they just all go up here and they stare at the hay through the fence. But this will get them all out of our way while we're spreading hay and we're not tripping over anybody. Come on, girls. Keep coming. Come on. Keep coming. Good girls. Keep going. Everybody in. Good job. Looks like that's everybody. So now they're all out here out of our way. So we got all the hay loaded in the barn. The animals are all stocked up for a while. So on to the next adventure. Alright, so now it's middle of the day. Unfortunately, we ran out of time. We had some visitors come visit the ranch and they wanted to meet the Kiko goats and kind of learn a little bit about them to see if that was the route they wanted to go. So we had to skip picking up our new animals. So that'll be tomorrow, so you'll probably see that on the next video. But we just got the horse trailer set up, so we're going to get ready to get these goats to the vet. The reason we're taking them to the vet is because they're going to be going to northern Idaho, so they're traveling, and they need a traveling health certificate, or a CVI, to go out of state when they're traveling. So what they're going to do is they'll get the information on where they're coming from, where they're going, the contact information for both ranches, and then they're going to check the animal for overall health, make sure they don't look sick or anything, and they get pictures of the goat and their scrapie tags they need to have, and that has our flock ID number on it. And so it's just to keep track of scrapie. It hasn't really been much in the U.S. in a long time, but you never know. They're always keeping track of it. There's a few cases here and there, and it just helps track what farm the animal has come from to see if that's where the scrapie disease has come from. So anyway, our goats always get their scrapie ID tag as soon as they're born, usually within the first week. And you're not supposed to remove them ever. Some people don't know that, but yeah, you're not supposed to remove the ear tags. They stay in the goat forever, their whole life. So anyway, we're going to get the goats loaded up and we're going to head to the vet. So this is our horse trailer. It's very plain and it's just a small 2-horse trailer. Because we're going to be loading a buck, a doe, and a kid in here, we're actually going to be putting halters on the adults and we're going to tie them one on each side. So we use these little center pieces on the windows and we will tie what we have is a really long lead rope that's more for horses, and we're going to tie that. We'll put a doe on one side and a buck on the other, and that way they can still lay down, but they don't have enough room to really run around the pen. And then we'll just toss the baby in the bottom, and she'll probably just hang out with her mom. But that's how we're going to get them loaded in here. So first we got to go catch them. The mother is all the way out in pastures. She's a little bit wild, but she does come to treat, so we're hoping we can gather her that way. I just got to get my halters. I don't know how big the mom's head is, so we got 2 different sizes, and I have a large one for Wrecker. So let's go get a hold of her. Alright, so hey, be nice. We just got Midnight caught. The treats did the job, but then of course now everybody's like, ooh, we want some. The hard part is going to be catching her baby, which is that black one right over there. So I'll probably need Brandon's help with that one. But they typically want to stay with their mothers, so maybe if we walk her toward the trailer, then little Star will come with. Alright, we got Wrecker on halter, so we're ready to take him over to the trailer And then we'll be ready to head out. Alright, everybody's loaded, so we're gonna hit the road. Well, just got back from the vet. Everybody is clear and ready for travel. Took about 2.5 hours because the drive time and all that. So just got Wrecker unloaded. Got to get the others unloaded, and then we got to do waters. Hopefully we have water now. Some of the hoses were frozen, so we're waiting for them to thaw. And then we still got to feed everybody. Alright, so next up we got to feed Hulk. And go collect chicken eggs. And then we'll feed the pigs and the other dogs. Hulk's eating. Everybody says hi. Hi, boys. There's all the boys out there. Now we're going to go in and see how the chickens did for us. Hi, girls. How's everybody doing, huh? Looks like some of them are already roosting up. Hey, guys. Hey, girls. There's Maximus. Don't you just love his hairdo? I just love his hairdo. Here's our big boy Brutus. Hey, Brutus. This guy's still looking for a home. He's the last rooster we got to rehome. Not the breed we wanted. Hey, Perseus. It's one of our new guys. Hey, girls. I gotta squeeze in there for a minute. Yeah, gotta squeeze in there for a minute. Hope you don't mind. Hey, big girl. Nothing in there. You're hiding them all, aren't you, girl? You can get in there? Scoot over a little bit. Come on. Scoot over. All the way. There they are. Only 4? What's up with that? What happened to 14 eggs, huh? Well, that ain't cool. Alright. Well, probably with the crazy weather and the single digits we had. Make sure that nobody laid in this house. Nobody has as of yet. And of course they could lay anywhere on this 2 acres. Nope, not in there. Well, darn it, girls. Yeah, a bunch of chickens up in the tree there. And up there. Alright, well, hopefully next time they'll do better. So I guess Brandon already fed the pigs. And he already fed Thor. And now he's going to feed Zara. So we're just trying to get our water working so we can get everybody filled up, including us. Other than that, that's pretty much the end of our day. Well, good news is we did get water. It was just still a little bit frozen, so we turned the heater on our water pump, and now we have water. So now we get to fill up all the animals, including us. Whew, what a long day. Man, well, what a busy day. We got a lot done, but not everything. It's just kind of what happens with farming, especially when you have a really busy day. It's just going to roll over to tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get it done then. Sorry you guys didn't get to see the new animals. We will definitely film when we go get these guys, and we'll show them to you on the next video. I'm probably going to go pick them up after work tomorrow, so you guys will see them then when I post that video. So thank you guys so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.